Hi, my name is Casey Koyczan, aka NAHGA. I'm Cliche Dene, and we're here at my studio in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories.
Gear Tour.
When I first started this project, I used to use I'd have a laptop on stage that was running Ableton, and I had a MIDI controller coming out of that I would use to call up all my samples. Mostly drum hits, that sort of thing, but I'd also play effects with it as well. With the laptop on stage, a lot of people thought that that's where a lot of my sound, or almost all of my sound, was coming from. So since then, I've removed the from the stage, and I've invested in the Akai MPX8 MIDI sampler. It's fed off of an SD card, so you don't need to hook it up to any sort of computer. It's really small and portable, only 8 pads, but that's really all I need. The cool thing about this is you can load up any sort of samples that you want. So you can put anything you want in there. And I also like to sample traditional Dene drum sounds and other sort of instruments and kind of like chanting and stuff that they do as well. All right, so usually for a lot of my songs, they start with the guitar. I have a Jackson Dinky that I got for really cheap from a friend, and I also just picked up a Godin that I got for pretty cheap as well. So I'll use this more for the mellow stuff and the atmospherics, and then this will be more for the harder electronic sort of sounds. Okay, so up next I have the RC300 loop station. It's a triple phrase looper, which allows you to have multiple loops while you play. One of the most original things about my setup is my pride and joy. This is a telephone microphone made from a radial telephone, and so I fashioned this in university with the help of my sculpture teacher, Doug Buis. It was a really easy fix. So I had to take that microphone and put it in on this side. So there's the mic there, and that's what I talk into. Check, check. And I had to install a 1/4-inch jack on this side for the patch cable to patch into. So that's where it connects. And the speaker wires connected to the 1/4-inch jack perfectly. We soldered it in place just so that it wouldn't come apart. So yeah, this is my go-to microphone. And it has this built-in kind of distortion to it. But I also have this going into a Moog Mini analog delay here. So it gives it a lot of cool effects. I like to play with a lot of feedback and harmonize. So this side has the microphone on it, or the speaker on it, but you can also sing into this side, which gives it more of like a droney and bass heavy sort of sound. So another percussion based instrument that I have is the SPD-11 with some accessories, a kick pedal that I amended to there, and there's a snare that you can use for a bunch of different stuff. Snare, kick, you got your cymbals. This is kind of set up for a hi-hat right now. And then you have 8 pads on this thing that give you a different array of instruments. They have a lot of conventional drum kits on here, as well as a lot of hip-hop drum kits. This thing is from the 90s as well, so it has a lot of different sounds in there and some really unique sounding stuff. For additional drum and percussion, what I usually like to use is this old Zoom MRT 3B. And I really like some of the presets in here. I use it as well with the Chaos pad. It's got a bunch of presets in here. Alright, so up next I have the Mini KP from Korg. It's a small portable touch effect processor. It goes off of an X and Y axis, and it has a bunch of presets in here, 99 presets, spanning from envelope filters to delays to ring modulars, all sorts of noise makers, and it's also got a couple synths in there as well. So all of my instruments go to the mixer, and then all of the instruments go to the Mini KP, which is my main source for effects while I play. And then everything from the Mini KP goes to the RC202. It's a hand looping station. And then this signal goes to the RC300, which is my last step. And both of these loopers are synced up via MIDI sync. So it gives me 5 banks for looping, and is allowable for more dynamic sort of songs.
Sample that.
If you're going to do live looping stuff, you need to be really on time. Pay attention to your loops. I don't have any sort of pre-played material when I play, so everything is from scratch, made on site. Just get your chops up, you know, practice, practice, practice. No one's born natural. Well, there are some naturals, but you practice and you just get better. That's sort of all I can really say about that. And it really doesn't matter where you're at. Like, I'm up here in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. There's a lot of other musicians up here. It's a great music scene, but in terms of the geographical landscape of Canada, we're sort of isolated and out of the way. So don't give up. It doesn't matter where you live. You can still make it.
You've been exposed. Digital drum. Digital exposed yourself.